Ofosu Kwakye. He's a former deputy minister in the same government that Ato Forson was a deputy government in. That's the Mahama government. He was in charge of information and communication. He's joined me on the line now. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Well, thank you, Maru.
So you sat through court. Let me use you or make you a court reporter just for the next few minutes. What happened?
Well, I'm not a court reporter. I cannot pretend to be one. So I will speak to what the NDC has said.
Then let me make you an eyewitness on Eyewitness News.
Well, I will speak to what the NDC has said, which essentially captures what happened in court.
Yes, please.
Ordinarily, and I've followed this case for a long time. I've been in court almost every day that the case has been called. And the general principle is that because the matter is sub judice, you don't comment on the merit. And I think that by and large, all parties involved in this case have refused, or if you like, endeavored not to comment on it in light of the principle that we all accept. But what happened today is of such exceptional value that it poses grave danger to persons opposed to this Akufo-Addo government, including myself and every member of the NDC. And for that reason, we cannot sit aloof and not raise concern about what happened. Essentially, the third accused person, Mr. Richard Jakpa, who is a businessman and an agent, if you like, for the entity that manufactured and shipped the ambulances to Ghana, Big C, said in the course of his testimony, and this is a matter of record, because the judge herself indicated that the matter should be captured on record because she wanted it on record. And I think it was the right step that she took. He said that the Attorney General has approached him severally, has met with him clandestinely, and spoken to him many times on phone with a view to getting him to make false statements and give false testimony and give testimony that aids the Attorney General to ensure the imprisonment of Dr. Ato Forson, the minority leader. Now, this is a grave abuse of the Attorney General's powers, if what Mr. Jakpa is saying is to be believed. And indeed, he has asserted that he has evidence of this. There's indication that the National Democratic Congress also has this evidence, and that is why you find in the statement that the chairman of the NDC says that early next week, he will address a press conference and put that evidence out so that the whole world hears the extraordinary.
Hello?
Want persons who are opposed to the Akufo-Addo administration falsely and unjustly imprisoned simply because they are vocal in their opposition against the misrule of this government. And that is the only reason why we are compelled to speak to this matter. And I encourage all of you in the media, in the interest of justice and in the interest of preserving the integrity of our judicial and justice system, to give extensive coverage to this so that the light is shined on all those who, under the cover of darkness, use certain processes to oppress others simply because they disagree with them.
Okay, let me just try and understand this. What actually triggered this? Is it something that the lawyer during cross-examination, the Attorney General's Department during cross-examination unearthed this, or your lawyer led, or his lawyer rather, led him in evidence? How did this come up?
Well, in the course of cross-examination by a lawyer for first accused, Edwiji Tamaklo, the Attorney General shot up and said that he thought Jakpa was rather defending the first accused. This angered Jakpa because he then said that you are the Attorney General who has approached me on many occasions to fabricate evidence against Dr. Forson so that it will aid your cause in ensuring that he is imprisoned. So how then do you turn around and accuse me of defending him when I'm actually defending myself by merely stating the facts as I know them to be? So it was the Attorney General's posture and attempt to accuse Jakpa of defending Dr. Forson, which got the third accused to make this startling revelation. And I think that it is something that the people of Ghana ought to follow, because for the longest period, we in the NDC have decried the conduct of this Attorney General, who seems all too willing to do anything in the interest of the Akufo-Addo administration by bringing fabricated charges against people with a view to silencing them because they are critics of this government. And we in the NDC have indicated in our statement, we will follow this matter to its logical conclusion. Because like I said, if our minority leader can be plugged and targeted in this manner, then all of us are in danger. We are in no mood to surrender our freedoms to a despotic government led by Akufo-Addo. Certainly not on the altar of a hatchet man of an attorney general like Dami. And we will do whatever it takes to defend our freedoms. We in the NDC have the same rights as anybody in the MPP. And we will not be plugged like ducks and thrown into prison simply because we detest the Akufo-Addo administration. And that is a point that we must place on record.
Now, this is just an allegation. Let the records reflect that it was just an allegation, even though it was made in court. It's just an allegation. It could be possible that he's just making that, and I'm using possible. It could be possible that he's making that.
Well, Umaru, let me tell you, I didn't want to go out of myself, but let me tell you that this is ironclad. It is not just an allegation. And we in the NDC are not in the business of throwing out empty claims. Just give us a few days into the early days of next week, and we will put that evidence out, as our chairman has said. It is not something that, and that I was speaking on oath, mind you. He was speaking on oath, which meant that if what he says proves to be false, he runs the risk of being imprisoned by the court for misleading the court. And I don't think that somebody who is interested in his freedom like Japa will make such allegations lightly. Again, we in the NDC are a serious organization. We want the people of Ghana to take us seriously. And so we are not just going to say we will put out evidence if we have none. It is extremely important that this comes out so that the charade masquerading as the Attorney General's department, whose only interest is in preserving the, if you like, sanctity of the Akufo-Addo administration, even in the light of clear wrongdoing, will take note that we in the NDC will defend our freedoms, whatever it takes. And let me repeat, we are not willing to surrender our rights and freedoms to anybody, certainly not a despotic regime like Akufo-Addo and his hatchet man of an attorney general. We would go to every length to preserve our freedom. And therefore, whatever it takes to expose Godfrey Dami and its callous weaponization of justice will be done.
When you say you're going to produce evidence, what will be the nature of this evidence that you are bringing? So the
nature of the evidence will become clear when you show up at the press conference on the day that the NDC will announce it. And you will hear it.
Yeah, but give us an inkling, because this was a claim made by someone who is not necessarily on your side. This is someone who has been jointly accused.
That is true.
Yes.
But the point is,
so does it mean that he gave the information or gave some information
Umaru,
to you?
The person against whom this plot was being hatched is a minority leader who is a significant figure in the NDC. And to the extent that it is his work as a member of the NDC and leader of the minority, or at the time, our ranking member on finance, that triggered this action from Godfrey Dami. We will go to any length that is necessary to expose the truth so that all of us do not fall victim to a callous, sinister machination by Akufo-Addo and his studies against us. And I repeat again, we will never surrender our rights or freedoms to Akufo-Addo simply because we do not like his government.
Now, I still want to understand. So, is it that you have video recordings or audio recordings of this meeting that you're going to share with us?
Umaru, that when you show up at that press conference, our national chairman has told you that he has incontrovertible, shocking evidence. Our national chairman is a man of honor. He's a man of immense experience and has been at the forefront of our party for decades. So, when he tells you that he has evidence, I will just plead with you to show up at that event and hear the evidence for yourself.
When is this event?
Well, he has said early next week. So I expect it to be either Monday or Tuesday. But whatever the case may be, a date will be announced. And the whole world will hear it.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Felix Kwakye Ofosu. He's a former Deputy Minister of Information and